Morning everyone. Hi, Graham from Lakeside, and lights are on. Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick update on how far I've got so far. I won't be doing any work on the layout today, Sunday. It's just gone 10, and I said to the wife that I'd do a quick video and then we'd have the day to ourselves. So I've got on very well, as you can see from here. So about up to there is all fixed and glued, and I've just laid the track on there for the moment for positioning. All the foam is now glued, and yeah, it's I've got my 4 tracks which I wanted. So 2 up, 2 down, with additional Suburban there and Suburban there. So that's 3 up, 3 down, or 3 down, 3 up, whichever way you want to do it. And I've just pulled a piece of my old retaining wall just here, because I think what I want to do is to divide that off there and have that for storage for my fixed rakes, like the Blue Pullman, Class 350s, and several others, which oh, got runny nose, which I don't want to keep taking on and off the layout. So I can store those behind there with no ill effect, and then I can just bring them out. I'll have a feeder point right up here, and that will then feed into the various tracks. I guess 5, possibly 6 tracks at the back here. So that should be enough. Probably 5, I would think, but we'll see how we go on that. So I'll just shut the bridge down. We run a coach round, new coach. Now, wrong with that. Another one. So it works. I've put all feeder wires on the tracks all the way around, dropper wires rather, ready for me to hook up to the main bus, which I haven't installed yet, but I'll probably do that next week, and then I can start powering up the tracks as I go along. I'm not too worried at this stage. I know it'll work when I hook up the bus power. So I'll take you around now. I'll take the camera off the tripod and I'll take you around and show you the individual bits. Okay, so bear with me. Yeah, so this is how the track is working at the moment. I've just got a piece of track here which there'll be something feeding off here and going into this space here, which I won't tell you about just yet, but I know what's going to go in there. So this is just put in there for the moment. I can lift this up, no problem at all, and change the position of it, but I just wanted a piece of track in there to give me an idea to feed from. So I've used all electro frog points at the moment here. No motors have been installed yet, but that will be done. Now they're the only two which I've put in. There'll be another point there to feed off, and I'll put that point in, but all the rest I will leave off for now until I've laid the track. Now I know that sounds bizarre, but I think I prefer to do it that way rather than put the points in now and then have to reposition them again because I'm not happy with them. So I'll put the basic track down and then I will put in the points afterwards. I know it sounds back to front, but that's the way I want to do it. Now I'm going to have crossovers so that I can get from over on this track right the way over to this track, and I'll be putting crossovers in at various places but not in the platform area, because as you remember on the previous layout I had to cut away. It's not on this platform, it's on another one. I had to cut away some of the platform because as the coaches came round they were hitting the side of the platform, which I don't want to happen this time. So the crossovers will probably be over that side where there won't be any platforms apart from a little one up there. So that's where I will put the crossovers in. There's no debate on that whatsoever. Crossovers will go over on the other side. The only other point which will come up will be this one here, exactly as I've got here. So this track will feed over to this platform, go along and then feed back into this track here. So I can put those two in, that's not an issue. It's the crossovers where I'm not putting it at the moment. I can lift points up without any problem whatsoever, so I can cut a piece of track, put a point in, do the hole for the point motor and slot it in. That's quite easy to do, so I haven't any issue as regards cutting track after it's been laid. So I think that's about it for here at the moment. There's probably going to be something which I should remember after I've done the video, but I think that's all I can think of at the moment. So it's going to be basically a straight run of track through the platforms like you see there. So I'm gradually trying to feed back in the bits and pieces I had on the previous layout, because I still want this layout to have the same feel to it as the old Lakeside. There will be changes obviously, but I still want it to have the same feel. So the manor house and everything else will start appearing again shortly, I would think. So that's that. The curves I've put in round here. Now across the bridge I've allowed a large space here and then gradually narrowed it down to when I get the curves. I've checked with my longest coaches, which are actually my American Santa Fe coaches, that there's no collision when they go passing each other on these curves. And I've allowed quite a bit of space in between. And what I did, I got some, bear with me a minute, I'll just get underneath here. I had some old Hornby track which was second radius, I think these are second or third radius, and I know the big boy goes around here absolutely no problem. So if the big boy can go around these, then anything can go around, to be honest. So what I did, I made all the curves bigger than this, as you can see. I'll line that up there. You can see the first suburban line is quite large in comparison to this one. So I know that everything which I've done here, I won't have any problems with any of the locos or coaches going round. And that curve there is the tightest curve on the layout. And I've done that by using this tool. which is a neat little thing. I can't remember where I got it from now actually. You open it up. I can try and do this one-handed. Locked it. You open it up and you've got a huge compass. And you can see just there's a pencil there, and there's a point in there which you can dig in and scribe your line. So it's a great piece of kit. I'm really pleased with that. It's also got a level on it which I don't use, but it's got quite a few little bits and pieces on it. It's a nice little tool. I really can't remember where I got it from. Might even been Amazon. So that's how I've done those, and obviously those over there, same technique. Now those two lines, the two outer ones will go straight along there, and the two inner ones will come along and round just like the old lakeside and then swerve back up again. And you can probably guess what might appear just there. I'll leave you to ponder on that, but I'm sure that it's going to be easy to think what's going to go there. Right, let's go back over to the lift up section. Now I'm not going to go into the whys or the wherefores or anything. You've seen the coaches go over. So if I unlatch it down here, lift it up. Right, so there are the dropper wires for the 4 tracks coming through, which I can hook up. And on the other side, there's the electrical feed coming down this side. So I've got feed from all those tracks here, and feed for the tracks on the top of the bridge. And then over this side I've got dropper wires coming down for the 4 tracks up there. So on this part of the board we've got 3 adjusters using the adjustable feet, which I've got down here. Now, is that on the side or the front? You tell me. To me, that's now on the back, not the front, because when I come in from this way, I'm not going to hit it. If I put it over there, it's on a thin part of the wood. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, so I've got the 3 adjusters there running along. I've got the 2 latches, over centre latches. I've got 2 dowels, which somebody said it wouldn't be any good to locate it. Okay. And I've also got a micro switch which I've yet to wire up, but when that closes down, it closes down and pushes that micro switch down. If you can hear it click, that will be to disable the power. So I shall wire that into the main bus so that as soon as that releases and the bridge goes up, it's not a bridge, it's a lift up section. When that lifts up, it cuts the power off. So that really now are all the components which I need for the bridge, lift up section. Keep calling it a bridge. So it's quite complex, but it works. And if we now close that and then put the clamps back on again, tighten it back down. You can now see the micro switch is now in its position where it's allowing power to go through. And then as regards to the hinges, which was a great debate, if you remember, let's put that down there, if you remember right at the beginning, this whole thing, what you saw up to date was excuse me, proof of concept. And what I mean by that is the concept I wanted to put over was, will it work? Will this system work? And I had 4 hinges, if you remember, one there and a couple in the middle and another one here, and they were flat on here. And they were flat because I didn't need to get any more height from them, so that I didn't get any binding on these rails here, because there was enough height in the hinge here on that centre pin. There was enough height to give me that clearance. Obviously with the track bed, which I knew I was going to lay down, I had to raise that centre pin. In the process of doing that, what I've also done is hidden the actual bolting to the baseboard part of the hinge. I've hidden that and done a rebate, if you can see, in both sides, this side and that side. I've done a rebate and cut out a rebate here for the this part of the hinge to bolt to the timber frame of this, but have still got the height. So I've increased the height and hidden the flange of the hinge. That was the word I wanted, flange. Hidden the flange of the hinge. So now that gives me a neat install, so I can easily put a building or something over this, which I can lift off when I raise that. But when it's in its closed position, you won't see the hinge, and likewise with that one. So with all the flapping around, I've lifted it up, closed it, lifted it up again and closed it. So that's a fairly good test. So let's get a coach again. And the coach. Now I don't care, I really don't care, with all the theorists still saying, even in this video, that still won't work because of the blah-de-blah, the perpendicular won't cross the hypotenuse of the, you know what, I don't care. You know, it works. Now for goodness sake, stop criticising something which is working. If you want to do it a different way, fine. I don't know how many times I have to keep saying this. You know, it just seems to go on and on. It just works. I knew it would. At the time I did the proof of concept, the hinges weren't like that, I know, but they didn't have to be at that time. I knew what I was doing right from day one when I designed this. I knew that it would end up like this, and it still works. Absolutely no issues there whatsoever, and I think I've just proved it. So please, no more comments about, oh, that won't work, or the dowels won't be strong enough to. That is rock solid, absolutely rock solid. You know. Anyway, I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters. So I don't really care what you think. It's staying like that, and it's fine. Okay, right. I always seem to come on here and have to do a bloody rant because of people criticising. fed up with it. You don't get people doing that on Everard Junction or Dave or anybody else. Oh no, brilliant job, yeah. But for me, oh well, you can't do it that way because of, oof. Oh dear, never mind. Right, so anyway, so the next stage is to finish off this area up here and then take all this lot round here, and I'm going to attempt to try and incorporate what I had before with these hills and scenics in the same kind of area. It'll have to be configured slightly differently because I haven't got the raised section, of course, but I will incorporate them somehow around there. So that's the next stage. After I've done the platforms, well not the platforms, but the platform area, I will come through and start doing these curves across here. And then probably the most difficult area is going to be across there actually, for what I've got in mind. So well, not difficult, but time taking. Yeah, probably going to be that area there. And I know what I should be doing there. So that's the stage of play so far, and I'm very, very happy with it. And you know, I keep saying, as long as I'm happy with it, really that's all what matters. In fact, I'm more than happy with it. I'm ecstatic with the fact that I've got this far in such a short time. I didn't expect this at all, but it's gone down so smoothly and it just works. The real test, of course, will be actually running a train, especially a steamer, around this lot, but that's all to come. I think maybe end of next week, after I put a bus cable in, then I should have a good idea. I should hopefully start running a couple of trains, test trains, to see what happens, if I get any derailments or anything. So that's it. That's an update for this week, and hopefully I can progress next week. At least, I would like to at least get round to there if I can next week. Okay folks, so that's about it for now. Hopefully you've had a great weekend so far, and I'll do another update next weekend. Okay, alright, so bye for now, and thanks for watching. Bye. Well, I was just about to leave, and I just remembered that what I didn't do was show you the fixings for these tracks. And what I've done is I pinned them all down first, across here and that side too, with the joint there, after having glued it, and then fixed it with 4 pins either side of the join. Let that set overnight, and then I came up and then I cut through each one with a Dremel across the sleepers and the track, and then with a knife I then cut through the foam, and then likewise I did exactly the same with that end. So you'll notice that there's slightly more of a gap this side than there is that side, and that is because when this lifts, that part here has to rise up, and so this, by its very nature, will tend to go that way a fraction, but not enough to, you know, create a huge problem. I just needed to allow a slightly bigger gap this end than that end. But as you saw, there was no binding here when it was lifted, and these tracks cleared absolutely no problem when it was lifted. But I just wanted to show you the fixings so that you know, this is not moving anywhere. That's glued to that, and it's pinned as well, so the very ends are not moving at all. Okay, I just wanted to add that in because I forgot about that. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Right, so bye.